Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lunar Podcast. The theme of this podcast is going to be initiation, which I titled The American Doctrine of Initiation. So, to understand what a doctrine is and its function, we can look at a clear example of a doctrine that is useful, and that is the United States Constitution, right? So, the supreme law of the land in America is the U.S. Constitution. It is what holds the entire system together, right? It is what America was founded upon, right? Now, that is the doctrine of the land, right? The political doctrine, right? It is something to be followed and obeyed, so that harmony and equality and liberty and happiness can prosper and spread across America, right? Which is a very beautiful thing, right? So, in this case, right, in this political case, it's important to have a law-abiding document, right? And which its purpose is to keep the order in in America, right? If that goes away, if you rip the Constitution, what happens is that, well, there is no system, there's no system to enforce, so everybody can just do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, that would work if we were all mature enough to really understand that we're all human beings and that we're all made equal. But unfortunately, the majority of us has not matured enough where we can be sort of self-guided. So that would be a terrible thing, right? So that is a clear example of having a sort of law-abiding document that needs to be enforced for the simple purpose so that we can all work together as one nation. Now, don't worry, I'm not running for president. But so that's a clear example, right? Now apart from the simple sort of law that we are to live harmoniously together, there really is nothing there to help us really mature. So one thing that is lacking in the political system is a doctrine of initiation, which says, okay, here is the official U.S. system on how to create mature human beings, right? How to develop them maturely. Now we have the university systems, right, which are and the government, they really help people go through like school, right? You can go through community college, and there's scholarships, and you can go to maybe a local community college for really cheap, so you can get an education if you want it, right? But it doesn't really serve the purpose of someone being sort of initiated into maturity, right? Now, it's not enforced upon, right? You don't have to go to college if you don't want to, right? So what I'm really looking at here is a doctrine that says you need to be a mature human being, right, in order to function in this world, right? There's plenty of systems out there that you can utilize, but it would be nice if the government had one official system. Says, here's the official system on how to do it. Now, if you don't like this system, then as long as you attain maturity in any other system, that's okay, right? You don't have to follow this system. You can follow any other system as long as you attain the maturity that is required. We don't have that. And that is a big, big, big problem, right? So what do we do about it? As some examples of what sort of this doctrine of maturity looks like, we can look at Eastern traditions. And one really great example is Buddhist philosophy. Buddhist philosophy has a plethora of these sort of Buddhist doctrines that explain step by step how to achieve maturity. Some of these philosophical treatises are, the Lam Rin by Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa wrote many great sort of treatises, all which aim towards, the ultimate aim of Buddhism, which is enlightenment, right? Now, in our case, in the American case, what I'm proposing is not the ultimate aim is to be enlightened, but the ultimate aim is to be mature, right? To attain maturity all across the board, all across the land. And then from the basis of that, then maybe we can go off and try to pursue enlightenment, right? As a bonus. But we need to at least attain the sort of the middle basis on which these higher metaphysical ideas can even begin to be entertained. So I'm going for maturity. That's what I'm presenting, is maturity. Buddhist philosophy goes further and says, yes, we will attain maturity, but there's so much more. We can attain enlightenment. So in Buddhist philosophy, there's plenty of treatises that one can look into and find ways in which to grow and develop. And this is why in America, people who are interested in these mature ideas in development, self-development, the first place they look is in the East, right? Because that seems to be the place where they have taken this stuff seriously, right? As in the case of Buddhist philosophy, right? And one of the things that is occurring is that those who study these treatises, these doctrines, these Buddhist doctrines, what they do is they say, okay, we obviously have a deep necessity here in America of a system to initiate people into maturity. So what the scholars and the students of Eastern philosophy do is they translate the systems, what is called a cultural translation, in which they adapt, they remix those systems, as in the case of, let's say, Tsongkhapa's writings, into a way that makes sense to an American culture. And therefore, we add an option for those who want to mature to sort of mature using the Buddhist initiation system. And that is a really good example that one can sort of, clearly see a path of initiation. And it's the one that I at least recommend first, right? It's to study a bit of Buddhist philosophy. You can't go wrong, right? Now back to America. So what we have established here is that the American government does not have an official initiation system, right? It is left up to each one of us to figure out what that initiation system is for us. Unfortunately, it's not mandatory that we mature up. It's an option, according to the law. Unfortunately, that's not how reality works. We have to mature. We have to achieve the next stage of consciousness. So it is up to us, the ordinary people, to first, do the work within ourselves and see the results of being at least moderately mature. And then on the basis of that, on the basis of having direct, sort of clear understanding, then one can take the next step and start promoting these ideas to our fellow, human beings, and says, hey, would you like to sort of achieve the next stage of, development? And because it is the path that we have to travel, right? So in conclusion, the U.S. Government has a doctrine of the Constitution which helps keep the order in the nation. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a doctrine of initiation to help people sort of mature up to the next level. So it is up to people like me to present these ideas generally and to sort of get this project going. So this has just been a brief, look and analysis into this sort of, as we work towards a, American doctrine of initiation.